Hey, it's me, Football Diehards Senior Editor Bob Harris. It's time for the Week of 12 injury preview, review, update, and overview. It's something we do here every week for those of you just catching up or getting ready to set lineups and you haven't been following along closely. This is your starting point. I'll give you all this week's pertinent injuries and do them in chronological order to give you an understanding of possible fallbacks you'll need based on the kickoff time this week. As always, I'll remind you I record this early in the afternoon. Today it's about 1:45 p.m. Eastern time, and things will change, but they always do. So once you've watched this video, hit the late-breaking update section on the main page of the site, that big section in the middle, a list of articles to see if anything that I've talked about has changed, or better still, hit the FSP staff cheat sheet. It's kind of a one-stop shop that'll link to all the latest information for all the players in one location. You see a player that's like, why is he ranked at the very bottom? Well, hit the link next to him. It'll probably tell you why. Or why is a player you don't expect ranked far more highly than you would? It might be injury related. So let's get into it. There are no bye weeks this week. Next week's a big one. Big 6-team bye week 13, then 2 teams on bye in week 14. So be mindful of that. But this week everyone's going. There have already been games. So in case you missed it, the Packers beat the Detroit Lions. The Cowboys demolished the Commanders. Big game for Dak Prescott and others. And Thursday night, it was the San Francisco 49ers taking down the Seattle Seahawks. Then yesterday, a Black Friday game, the Miami Dolphins dismantled the New York Football Jets. Not a huge surprise. So we've got a slate of games remaining, though, and we'll get through those right now. We'll start off the Jaguars and the Texans. Damian Pierce is listed as questionable, but he practiced fully all week and seems likely to return. Offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick said what he does and that he was gaining some momentum before he was hurt. He threw that in there, but that it'll be a timeshare. Devin Singletary has gotten the bulk of the workload, had 2 fantastic 100-plus yards a week, 150 yards career high 2 weeks ago. So could take a little bit of the top off what you expect from Devin Singletary in a tough matchup against the Jaguars, by the way. Tough run defense. Noah Brown is ruled out, so all the Tank Dell, all the Nico Collins, all the Dalton Schultz all sound good to me in this matchup against Jaguars. Does C.J. Stroud. Zay Jones on the other side, he is listed as questionable. He played last week, returned, and guess what? Calvin Ridley had a big game. I'm not saying this is a difference maker, but if you look at the 3 games Calvin Ridley's excelled, it seems like the common denominator might be Zay Jones being in the mix. So worth noting there, but still a little bit dicey. Calvin Ridley, flex level play. Patriots or the Giants? We don't know who the Patriots starting quarterback's going to be. We know who it won't be. Will Grier was released Saturday morning. So it's Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi, maybe Malik Cunningham, probably Mac Jones. They aren't going to announce this until kickoff, I don't think. So be ready for that drama. Devontae Parker listed as questionable with the concussion. We haven't seen him since week 8, week 9? It's been a while. He's missed 3 weeks at least, including the bye, with this concussion. He is questionable, did practice on a limited basis this week. On the other side of the ball, Darius Slayton is doubtful with a neck injury. Seems like he will not go in this game. Saints at the Falcons, no Kendre Miller on the Saints side, no Mac Hollins on the Falcons side. Younghoe Koo who had a little injury scare earlier in the week. He's off the injury report at the end of the week. Of course, Desmond Ridder is back as the starting quarterback for this team, the Atlanta Falcons, and we'll see how that goes over the rest of the season. Tough matchup against the Saints. Everyone else is good to go in that game. The Steelers are at the Bengals. Of course, Jake Browning will start at quarterback with Joe Burrow done for the year. He was placed on IR today. So if you can make roster moves based on that in your league, go ahead. He is officially on IR. Chase Brown came off IR, by the way, the rookie running back. T. Higgins ruled out again this week, has the ongoing hamstring issue. So Jake Browning will be a little more limited in his receivers. Jamar Chase, not a limiting factor, obviously. He's still great. Tyler Boyd and Trenton Irwin move up in the rotation. Andre Yasovis, the rookie, is also questionable with a knee issue. The Panthers are at the tight. Everyone's good to go for the Steelers. Change of offensive coordinator there, by the way. Matt Canada finally fired. They promoted the running backs coach, Eddie Faulkner, to the coordinator job. But Mike Sullivan, the quarterbacks coach, will be the play caller. Maybe a little more Jalen Moore, maybe a little more George Pickens. Can't do wholesale changes to an offense in the middle of the season or in the last quarter of the season. So look for just adjustments to how players are used, and maybe more playmakers would be a wise choice. Generally speaking, in-season changes don't always have great success, but maybe they shake things up a little bit. The Panthers are at the Titans. Treylon Burks will miss a 3rd game with a concussion that he suffered in Pittsburgh and hasn't hit the practice field since. Hayden Hurst, also concussed, will miss his 2nd game with a concussion. Everyone else in this game is good to go. Will Levis a little nicked up, but he's fine and off the injury report. Derrick Henry as well. Should be a get-right game for him against the Carolina defense. Has been very generous. We'll see what Carolina can cobble together outside of Adam Thielen, who's been fantastic. The Buccaneers are at the Colts. Saturday addition to the injury report is Rachaad White, who's been putting up starting running back numbers, especially as a receiver. Not a lot of information on this. Chase Edmonds, Keyshawn Vaughn behind him. Haven't seen Sean Tucker. Hasn't had a touch since September, I don't think. So this will be one to watch going in. Really not a lot of information. Saturday added additions to the injury report, probably not a good thing. So we'll be watching for that. On the other side of the ball, Andrew Ogletree, the tight end, has been ruled out with an ongoing foot issue. Hasn't really been missed that much. The Sunday late afternoon window, the Broncos and the Browns. Everyone's good to go in this game that we care about. Marquise Goodwin is the only Brown that's really not going to play. He's out of this game, and hopefully not somebody you were considering for your fantasy production. The Rams and the Cardinals. Kyron Williams looks like he will come back this week. Watch later today. There's a 4 p.m. Eastern time activation deadline. Expect him to be activated. They released Darrell Henderson, then re-added him to the practice squad, probably foreshadowing Kyron Williams' return. He's been practicing fully all this week. Also, Cooper Kupp came off the injury report late in the week. He sprained his ankle last week, missed some time. He missed Wednesday, limited Thursday, full practice Friday, which is generally a walkthrough. So, but he is off the injury report. Same with Puka Nacua, who had a shoulder issue. He is not on the injury report as well. So both those guys will play against the Arizona Cardinals. It's a great matchup. And Kyron Williams as well. Great matchup if he plays. Expecting him to get that 88%, snap share. Seems like maybe a reach this week, but still a good matchup. On the other side of the ball, Marquise Brown listed as questionable with a heel injury. He was supposed to practice Friday, then did not, or try to practice. He sat out Thursday, then sat out again Friday. Seems like a legit questionable. It'll be something to watch. It's a late afternoon kickoff, so have fallbacks in place. One of them will not be Michael Wilson. For the Cardinals, the rookie has been ruled out. Rondale Moore, Greg Dortch, maybe even Zach Pascal will play roles if there is no Marquise Brown and Mike Wilson. Trey McBride, the rookie tight end, in a good spot in this one. The Chiefs are at the Raiders. Jerick McKinnon ruled out of this game. Could we see more Clyde Edwards-Helaire behind Isaiah Pacheco, or just more Isaiah Pacheco? I'd be fine with either. More Isaiah Pacheco, probably. Mecole Hardman also ruled out with a thumb injury. Kansas City Chiefs wide receivers lead the league with 26 drops this season. So it's been a mess they need to clean up. We'll see if they can. The Raiders all good to go, except for Max Crosby, the defensive end, the star pass rusher, is doubtful with a knee injury. So it seems likely that Pat Mahomes catches a break in this one. The Bills are at the Eagles. Dallas Goedert out, Grant Calcaterra out, both tight ends, so they'll be playing Jack Stoll. So not a big factor in the passing attack. So maybe a little more for Devontae Smith and maybe a rebound week for A.J. Brown. Had a quiet week. Doesn't often have two of those in a row, but worth watching. Julio Jones might gain a little ground too with Dallas Goedert out even. On the Bills side, everyone's good to go. A great matchup for Buffalo offense. Passing attack anyway. Maybe a lot for rushing attack. Sunday night game. A lot of injuries in the Sunday night game. Ravens are at the Chargers in Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium. Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham, Charlie Kohler, the second-year tight end, all listed as questionable in this one. Of course, Mark Andrews out and likely done for the season. Had surgery, maybe back for a late season or playoff push or something. But for our purposes, done for the year. So Flowers seems like not really all that questionable. He said there was no question he's playing. Odell Beckham called himself a game time decision. I don't know how serious he was about that, but you'll have to watch it, right? Isaiah likely moves into the starting tight end role. We'll see. He's had his moments, right? Especially as a rookie in exhibition season. So we'll see how he does. I don't know that I want to force him into lineups. I think we rank him as tight end 14 this week. I'm kind of a wait and see approach. Hopefully you have better options, but if you don't, he'll be in there. On the other side of the ball, Jalen Guyton, coming off the groin injury that cost him last week's game, is questionable. Worked on a limited basis all week. Gerald Everett has missed time with a chest injury. He worked fully on Friday after limited earlier in the week. He is questionable as well. So those will be players to watch. And Monday Night Football, Deontay Foreman, no injury designations in yet. He has been limited in practice or sat out Thursday, limited Friday. We'll see what he did today. Maybe he avoids designation. Maybe he's questionable. I'll make it dicey for you to play him. Khalil Herbert, obviously, back in the mix. Justin Jefferson seems unlikely to return. He's talked a lot about it this week. If they have a Week 13 bye, so if he sits out this week, he won't return until Week 14 and maybe be closer to 100%. He has said that he's at full speed and while running, etc. So he's progressing, but it seems like not enough. Again, we won't know that today. The Vikings will have until Monday to activate him off IR. So if you really are dying to play him, you need to have a fallback option because I think he's unlikely to go, but even just have some insurance against that possibility. TJ Hawkinson listed as questionable, has been working on a limited basis, has played through this injury. I expect he'll do the same. There you have it. It's week 12, people. Good luck this week. I'll see you in week 13. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving Day and Thanksgiving weekend. See you next.